My name's Ava, and today I'm sharing my Thanksgiving plan and prep with me for 2021. And if you're anything like me, on Thanksgiving or the day before, I'm usually running back out to the grocery store. I've either forgotten something or I'm either sending Derek out to grab something for me. And this year I want to be planned and have everything that I need on hand so that I can take advantage of all of that additional family time. So that's why I wanted to share this video with you. Hopefully it can serve as a reminder for you as you're making your grocery list. But today we are going to be planning for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys my Thanksgiving menu, items that I'm going to be picking up from the grocery store. I'm also going to be sharing a Thanksgiving simple tablescape along with my sweet potato souffle recipe. So if you enjoy videos like this, if you find this video helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'd also love for you to stick around for more videos like this, and you can check out some other videos that I make down in the description box below if this is your first time visiting my channel. But without further ado, go ahead and grab you a warm cup of coffee or some hot cocoa. I recently shared a hot cocoa bar and it was so much fun to make. So yeah, go ahead and grab you a warm drink or a warm snack and come back with me. Let's cozy up and let's start out with our menu. All right, so first up is the menu. Now I have this little weekly eats that's gonna help keep me on track. So I got this from Marshall's and I've already started making a list of what I need. And then on the other side, it has the days of the week. So love these, they're handy, but you can use any little list or sheet that you want to. Highly recommend on making a list. I'm sure you guys already do that. But I'll start out with my menu. So every year I make Thanksgiving dinner for our family. I love to do that. It's just a tradition in our family. And usually my mom and my dad come over as well as my sister. And then afterwards we will check out my husband's side of the family. My mother-in-law makes the best potato salad ever. I try to get it like hers. I just cannot. She doesn't put too much mayonnaise or too much mustard. So I know that if I get some of her potato salad on my plate, it's like, that just seals the deal. Let me know what your go-to recipe is for Thanksgiving. But anywho, what's on the menu this year? Turkey is on the menu this year, of course. I usually like to make turkey breast. I don't buy a actual big turkey because it's only 8 of us. So I usually just do 2 turkey breasts. Ham, I like to have both. And for my ham, I usually will buy it pre-cooked already and spiraled down. So I like a brown sugar ham that really is already done. No stress in it. I just buy it, put it in the oven, make the little side packet, and I'm done. So for the sides, macaroni and cheese. Now, here's my advice on macaroni and cheese. It has to be right, y'all. It has to be right. Thanksgiving is not the day to try out brand new recipes for macaroni and cheese. I would highly encourage you, if you're gonna try out a new recipe, do it maybe a few days before. That way you know that it's right, because if it's not right on Thanksgiving, you're not gonna be happy. Your grandma isn't gonna be happy. Your family isn't gonna be happy. So mac and cheese has to be right. So we're going with mac and cheese this year. I have collard greens, rice, sweet potato souffle, which is what we're making today, dressing. Now you guys let me know if you do stuffing or dressing. We are big on dressing, and dressing is another thing that has to be right. If it's not right, if it's too dry or if it's too moist, it's not gonna be the best. So the dressing has to be right. I feel like after 3 years, I finally have gotten my recipe pretty much down, but it did take me 3 years to get it down. So thanks to my Uncle Ken, who is a chef, I finally got that recipe down. All right. And then rolls. And for rolls, I usually just do store-bought rolls. Nothing special, nothing fancy. All right, so that is our sides. And then for dessert, I usually make a homemade banana pudding every year. It's so good. It's so creamy. It's so fattening. But who's counting calories on Thanksgiving? I'm not. So I usually make that every year. And then I usually like to have a couple of different cakes. You guys know I love sweets, so having a variety of cakes is never too much for me. So this year I think we're gonna do a strawberry cake, and I think I'm gonna do a chocolate cake. But in my mind, what I really want is a lemon cake, a pound cake. I want all of the cakes, but we're just gonna stick with strawberry and chocolate. So let me know what you guys are having for dessert, and save your girl some, send me some. I wish it was that easy. And then I think I'm going to do a sweet potato pie too this year. So that is for desserts. And then for drinks, we usually have tons of water bottles, as well as I usually like to do a gallon of sweet tea. I actually like to purchase a gallon of sweet tea from Chick-fil-A the day before, because their sweet tea is so good. So usually get a gallon of sweet tea and unsweet tea. And then we may have some sodas on hand, but more so I like to do Capri Suns for my girls, my kids, and really kind of, you know, get away from sodas. So we're trying to get away from sodas, but my husband cannot stop with the Dr. Pepper. So we probably will definitely have some Dr. Pepper on Thanksgiving. And so that is pretty much it for our menu. Now let's break it down into our grocery list. So now we're going to create our grocery list together. Now that we have our menu out of the way, you can go ahead and grab your list, and we're going to make our grocery list together. And while we may make things differently, hopefully the items that I'm mentioning may stem some thought process along the way, and you can just remember to write those things down. Again, the purpose of this video is to try to help you to not forget. So we're gonna start with our turkey. However you make your turkey, we may all make things differently, but however you make it, just go ahead and write those things down. Obviously, you need to purchase your turkeys. For me, I need to purchase rosemary. I love adding rosemary to our turkey, and I like fresh rosemary, so I'm gonna purchase some of that. And then for the seasonings, a lot of times I am really bad about not checking my spice cabinet first before I go grocery shop. So this year I'm really trying to be more proactive and check my spice cabinet first, make sure I don't have anything expired in there. I'm getting rid of that, and then if there's anything that I need, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase that. So if you're like me, I usually every year buy a ton of sage, and I have like 5 different little things of sage, and I only need one. So I'm trying to do better about that. But yeah, for the turkey, the only thing I really need to purchase is rosemary, and I also want to purchase some butter, because I like to base my turkey in butter and seasoning and just make it really good. And then if you add turkey stock or chicken stock to your turkey, you can purchase that. I usually like to just add some water to it and maybe some turkey stock as well, but let those natural juices flow. So curious to know what you guys add to your turkey. Now for the ham, I usually, like I said, buy mine pre-cooked already, so there's nothing I need to buy for that. But if you make yours from scratch, a lot of times people like to use apple juice. They like to use pineapples, different seasonings, brown sugar, whatever it is. Those are things that you want to go ahead and add to your list. And moving on to sides, let's talk about macaroni and cheese for a minute. With macaroni and cheese, noodles are getting gone so fast, y'all. I went to Walmart yesterday and the shelves were about empty of noodles. I could not believe it. Like the little elbow shelves, they were just about gone. So I ended up scoring on a box of noodles, and I went ahead and got that for next week. But I would go ahead and get your noodles, your cheese. Y'all, cheese is not all created the same. It doesn't all melt the same. So for Thanksgiving, I would get you a really good cheese that melts really, really good. Make sure you have enough butter. Make sure you have your evaporated milk or your regular milk or whatever you use to make your cream sauce. I like to make like a nice savory cream sauce, and I have shared that recipe over here on my channel before. So I'll link those videos in the description box below if you need some tips tips around making homemade macaroni and cheese. I also like to put mine in the oven and bake it too, so really like that kind. For collard greens, I love to use ham hock in my collard greens. I also like to use fatback too, but I'm trying to kind of like get away from that. So I am going to be using ham hock in my collard greens. I usually like to simmer that first before I put my greens in there. But whatever you need for your ham hock, if you're using vinegar, whatever you're using, think about whatever you're needing for your collard greens and go ahead and write that on your list. Double check on your seasonings. Just make sure that you don't have them, and if you need to purchase them, write those on your list. Rice is rice, so we're good there. Sweet potatoes, I don't foresee a shortage of that. There's tons of sweet potatoes, and Publix has some of the best, most plump sweet potatoes. So if you're looking for some really good quality sweet potatoes, check them out. But mostly everywhere has a really good supply of sweet potatoes. So if you're making sweet potato souffle, however you make it, if you use marshmallows over the top like I do, don't forget your marshmallows. Or if you make like a pecan crust, whatever, however you make that, think about your ingredients that you use for that. And then something else that is super easy to forget, I don't know why I forget this every year, it's the brown sugar. So don't forget your brown sugar. Of course, you're going to need your butter. So like I said earlier, make sure you have enough butter on hand, and that should be just about it for your sweet potato souffle, whatever else you use in there. If you use heavy whipping cream like I do, if you use your eggs, you know, like we said, make sure you have a lot of eggs because you're going to need it in multiple recipes. So okay, so for dressing is probably the most important side dish of all. It has to be right. You have to get it right. Like I said, it took me 3 years to perfect my recipe, and it's still not perfect, but it's pretty good. But anyway, you need your celery and your onions. I would highly suggest and encourage you get those maybe a day or two before, because you want them to be really fresh, have a nice crunch to them. That way when you go to saute them and your oil is really good. You don't want them to be too old where they're actually soggy. So you want them to be nice and fresh. So I'd highly encourage you get those, you know, a few days before Thanksgiving, but definitely not too early actually. And then don't forget about the oil. A lot of times, I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes you run out of cooking oil, so great time to stock up on your oil too. That just helped me to remember it. Also, your cornbread, if you don't have any on hand, whatever cornbread you use for your dressing, if you like your dressing sweet, then you can go with a sweet cornbread. If you don't like it sweet, then you can go just with a regular yellow cornbread, whatever it is of your choice. It doesn't matter to me. I use different ones. Sometimes it just depends of what I'm wanting that year. But I think that's pretty much it on your cornbread. Of course, make sure you have all of your dressing, but make sure you have all of your spices, and you should be pretty much ready to go for your dressing. Last but not least, on my side meal. So these are my favorite rolls, y'all. Like I said, I don't make our bread homemade. I would like to one day, but not this year. So anywho, these are my favorite rolls. I picked these up from Walmart yesterday. They are so good. I love these yeast rolls. Don't forget your rolls. I'm not going to hit on desserts too much because you obviously know what you need for desserts. But the biggest thing is just not forgetting those key ingredients for your savory side dishes. So if I left anything out, comment below, because I'm sure people are going to be reading the comments and you can help them to remember that way. And then, of course, plates. Now, we like to use regular plates, like, you know, just regular plates that you eat on. And then I like to use my paper plates for to go. So it just solely depends on whatever your preference is. But like I said, it's only 8 of us. If there's a larger amount, I would highly encourage using paper plates. But since there's 8 of us and we all eat at the table, we like to use just regular plates. But yeah, so don't forget your plates, your paper plates, your to-go plates. Dollar General has some really good to-go plates, like aluminum plates that have the little tops where you can seal. So don't forget that, just in case if anyone want to take some food home, or if you want to send some food to family. And then your aluminum pans. So I like to use aluminum pans as well as my dishes too. It just depends. But for like my dressing, I like to use an aluminum pan because I usually make 2 pans of dressing. For my macaroni and cheese, I usually like to use a nice big aluminum casserole dish. Sometimes I use my regular dishes, but since I'm making a larger amount, I like to use my aluminum pans. And then I would say that's pretty much it. If you're needing a bigger pan for your turkey, just don't forget that. Your aluminum foil, your saran wrap, all of that good stuff that you need. And then your paper plates, paper spoons, paper cups, and things like that. Hopefully this part has been super helpful. The point was to help you to remember and to create your shopping list together. So we are done with this part. Let's go ahead and make our tablescape.
For our tablescape, I'm going to be using some pieces that I already have on hand, and I'm just starting out here wiping down the table really good. It was actually nice to see this table cleared off without so many Christmas decorations on there, but I'm just using again some decorations that I already have. So this is just a table runner that I got from Target earlier this year. I also used it for my fall tablescape, and I used these florals too as well, and I think that Hobby Lobby may still have them for 75% off, so pretty good deal there. And then I'm just adding my cake stand here. Now for Thanksgiving there will probably be a really good cake there, but for the time being I'm just adding in some towels as well as these little pretty pine cones. I recently shared a Dollar Tree shop with me for Christmas and haul, and that's where I picked up these really pretty chargers as well as the plates that I'm going to be using. So I love the color of these chargers. They really offset well with the color of my table, and not to mention they were only $1 each. So they look, super expensive, but they were only $1 each as well as the plates. So great way to save on money but yet create a really pretty tablescape. So as you can see, most of the table settings I use pumpkins, and then at the ends I use just my regular little napkin holders. Now let's get to cooking. So a sweet potato souffle is one of my go-to recipes for Thanksgiving. I love eating it and I enjoy making it. So I'm just making a really small dish to share with you. I'm using 3 sweet potatoes, and I actually put them in the oven and bake them before I make the souffle. A lot of people do it differently. You can shave them, but I just like to, bake them and then let them cool. And after I finish doing that, I will peel off the skin. I'll have this recipe listed in the description box below if you're interested in making it. You can also double it. I will go ahead and let you know that I don't measure anything when I cook. So I tried my best to get the measurements right for you guys, but I am one where I taste while I'm cooking, and that kind of tells me if I need a little bit more of a particular ingredient. So for this recipe, I use butter, and as you can see, I'm adding in a little bit more butter and a little bit more brown sugar because, like I said, I usually taste as I'm cooking along. I also use eggs as well as heavy whipping cream and light brown sugar. It's super easy, very simple. Every now and then I add a little bit of vanilla extract, but it's solely up to you if you want to add that. Then I just layer it out in my casserole dish, and this is actually a new casserole dish that I picked up from Walmart. I thought it was so cute. So if I can find it, I'll try to link it for you guys. But it did a really good job at making the casserole too, or baking it. Then I just topped it off with a couple of marshmallows, and I like to cover it with a little bit of aluminum foil. That way it just allows the sweet potato souffle to cook really good and savory and creamy. And then after that, after about 20 minutes, I'll take the aluminum foil off and let it bake uncovered for another like 10 to 15 minutes and just let the marshmallows caramelize like you can see right here. I don't want it to get too burnt, but I like it to have like a nice crust. And then when you pull it out just like this, it's super savory. And again, that the eggs gives it that texture. So that's why I like to add eggs into my sweet potato souffle. It gives it a nice, you know, custard-like texture. Alright guys, so that is everything for this Thanksgiving plan and prep with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and more so, I hope you guys have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye guys.